Good morning, YouTube. We've got a pretty good one to go through here today. I think it should be a lot of fun. We're going to be discussing more SIG related stuff, of course, but this is now pointed, it's a little bit more pointed at the people that are SIG adjacent, not really SIG itself. So, posted to my Instagram page here. You're going to have to scroll back just one more post, but posted to Instagram. It's a patent document that surfaced. People sending this to me, and I mean, on the face of it, you might look at it and be like, I don't really know why this is interesting. So what this is a patent assignment, whereas Sig Sauer Inc., a company having its place of business, whatever, Boulevard, New Hampshire, blah, 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 patent application. All right, fire control mechanism for striker-fired pistols with enhanced safety features. Here, referred to herein as patent application and Grayguns Inc. All right. Now, therefore, for good and valuable consideration, the receipt and sufficiency whereof is hereby acknowledged. Grayguns Inc. does hereby sell, assign, and transfer onto Sig Sauer Inc. the aforesaid patent application, and in and to the said patent application all provisional divisions, continuations. All right, so it's assigning the rights, the patent for this some design to SIG from Grayguns. Now, this goes back quite a while, which to me makes it more interesting, not really less. This is from 2017. So what is this document? What is this all about? Well, you might remember way back there was the voluntary upgrade for the SIG 320s. This was the pistol being dropped like at this angle, like just the right angle. The trigger would actually actuate and the gun would go off. That one, like people had seen that drop repeated a lot online, and then SIG ended up releasing a thing which they changed some stuff and like changed the weight of the trigger, the actual physical weight of it, did other things to like try to mitigate the problem. This was what Grayguns designed to solve this problem. All right, fair enough so far. Now, the interesting thing about it is the timeline. I mean, if you go back and look, contemporaneously with this, at the same time that Bruce was developing a fix for this problem, he was quite loudly telling people on the internet that this was not a problem. So this patent assignment is real interesting because it shows that Bruce Gray's he seems like a dangerous liar would be a good way to put it. Like this is not like GBRS level stuff. This is, a couple steps worse where he's supposed to be like an expert on the subject, telling people, hey, this problem's not real. SIG does this voluntary upgrade, which they got the patent from him. All right, so he designed the upgrade, and then he's telling people, no, this was not a problem. He's like saying this the whole time. Like it is crazy to see receipts like this, and it shows like, man, this guy's fucked up like a football bat. There's really no other way of putting it. And I think people should skewer him for this. This guy is, man, I don't ever want to buy anything from him again. He's horrible. Anyway, that was the document that got posted. Let's go through your comments on it because maybe I'm being harsh. I don't know. I could be kind of a dick sometimes. Let's go through and see what people had to say about this. Grand Theft Auto 6 will come out before Grayguns apologizes. Yeah, no doubt. It's totally safe, so please buy this enhanced safety design for the totally safe pistol. Yeah, that's basically Bruce's argument. So not only did Grayguns say the 320 was safe and then create and sell a design to SIG to make the 320 safe, but SIG themselves argued in court that a victim of the 320 should have known better than to carry it because they have known issues, even though it's the safest, most tested handgun on the planet. Curious, no? I think when SIG was saying that the guy should have known the pistol was unsafe, I think it was related to him carrying it without a holster. But at the same time, yeah, I guess it would be, if I was going to just carry it stuffed into my belt, I would at least want a safety tab on the trigger personally. All right, LMAO, outstanding, very lucrative for Bruce, yes. Let's see what else we got here. Shocking in quotation marks. I don't think people are that shocked. I think Bruce doesn't have a whole lot of credibility here. I cannot like this enough as a recovering SIGger. I can honestly say none of this, and I mean absolutely none of this would have happened if they would have admitted there were issues and they were taking responsibility for this. I would have had utmost respect for the company that says we fucked up big time, now we're going to fix it right and be upfront with our clientele. What a concept. Thanks, Ben, for all this. I commented on the video he put on Facebook a few weeks ago and questioned whether or not he was biased. I immediately got pushback from his followers. Now this is gold. No, I mean, Bruce is past biased at this point. Like, I can't believe anything he says. And that's another problem, like, for both Sig and Bruce. And, well, shit, there are other influencers as well. It's like, you look back at history, it's like, I shouldn't believe anything these people are saying. So when we see now, we get more and more video and more incidents, and then slowly and subtly the verbiage from Sig shifts. Bruce Gray at this point is like, well, I mean, can't reproduce it, don't know what's going on. And then you just like, well, I don't believe him anyway. You know, I just don't believe him. I mean, he would probably engineer a fix and sell it to Sig if he understood what's going on, and then come out and say that, no, it's still safe, you guys can keep buying it. Like, it's great. At this point, you can't trust of these serpents who's in bed with Sig. Some of the shills seem to have jumped ship from Sig to Wilson Combat as of late. Yeah, it's true. One guy asked a question, explain this to me like I'm retarded, because I am. And the answer was great. Imagine telling your wife you didn't cheat on her, but then convincing her to give you money for plan B. That's such a great way of putting it, because it's kind of what happened. It's like, no, guys, it's safe. And it's like, sell me this thing over here. Fantastic news. Speaking of Sig influencers, and this is kind of a little side dish here. They finally blocked me on Instagram, and I'm talking about GBRS Group, who I've been a little bit critical of them just because, you know, they're shilling for, well, their opinions for sale. That's what it looks like anyway. So let's read what they had to say. This is an Instagram story that they posted up to their account. I screenshotted it, of course. They eventually pulled it down because of the amount of backlash they got. And I've now reposted it also to my Instagram page, because that's the kind of guy I am. I saw that post. I was like, whew, this is not going to age too good. So let me read you their post. When we heard about the airman's death, we were more concerned about him and his family, more so than the weapon that was used. We've taken a lot of heat for continuing to use the P320 platform. Memes were made, and some were funny and jovial in a way. Some people even held us accountable for the airman's death. Yes, we do like the P320 platform. No, we do not get paid by SIG to endorse the P320 or come to its defense. Everything we said is our personal opinion, and we stand behind it. All right, so those last three sentences there, we do not get paid by SIG to endorse the P320 or to come to its defense. I don't believe you. Like, I just don't believe that. Based on the footage that y'all have posted. Everything we said is our personal opinion. No, I don't believe that. And we stand behind it. Well, when you put up an Instagram story and then you remove it because the amount of backlash you're getting, that tells me you don't fucking stand behind what you're saying, you idiots. Anyway, that was just my interpretation of that. Let's go ahead and read what they had to say. I've never cared, or let's read what your comments are. I've never cared about an object so much to die on a hill on its behalf. Like, bruh, at this point, it's almost better for them if they say they're getting paid, even if they're not. Yeah, I think people don't get too mad if you're like watching a piece of content or listening to a podcast and they put a break and they just do an ad read. Like, yeah, we just read the ad that the company pays us to read. That's pretty transparent. Like, I don't really give a fuck. I understand people need to make money. But these guys, like, they're being very deceptive with what's happening here. That's what it looks like. I mean, I've heard very specific figures that GBRS gets paid by SIG. And, like, watching their content, it seems totally believable. And it's just like, you guys seem in the bag or otherwise shilling for SIG. What's up with that? And then they're saying, no, we're not paid by SIG to endorse the 320, which seems like a little bit of a word game. Like, are you being paid by SIG? Like, would you come out and say you're not being paid by SIG? I don't think they would. They take money from SIG. They're not specifically paid to endorse the 320. Yeah, okay. Our contract doesn't mandate us to be gay grifters, but that's our opinion, and that we are, and we stand behind it. I guess. Uh, Sig Sauer pays and sponsors so many people and organizations. Yes, I think that is true. Let's look at their offering from a duty gun perspective and one that competes with Glock in functionality. There's only the P320 platform. Most Navy SEALs learn on the P226, so the grip angle is ingrained in their deep-seated training memory. It's very normal that they chose the SIG as their main pistols after leaving service, but went for the easier to use P320 platform. They also use Glocks. I think the SIG grip angle, yeah, I think this is a bunch of bullshit. I think they go with who's throwing down the cheddar. All right. Well, anyway, that's enough of shitting on the SIG influencers today. Um, it's very interesting times, that's for sure. A lot of people have had it with this kind of nonsense from Bruce, and a little bit to a lesser extent with GBRS.